Every year, over $11 billion are wagered on horse races around the globe. Imagine the thundering hooves, the roaring crowds, and the sheer intensity as these magnificent creatures sprint towards the finish line. This is not just a sport, it's a spectacle that combines tradition, strategy, and of course, a bit of luck. From the sun-baked tracks of Dubai to the historic courses in Kentucky, horse racing draws in millions, each spectator eager to witness another breathtaking finish. But how did horse racing become such a beloved global phenomenon? The origins of horse racing trace back to a time before recorded history. Picture the vast, sweeping plains of Central Asia, where the relationship between man and horse first galloped into the annals of time. Nomadic tribes, reliant on the speed and endurance of their horses, unknowingly laid the groundwork for what would become a global phenomenon. As these tribes traversed the steppes, competitions to test the swiftness of their steeds emerged naturally. These races were not just sport, they were integral to survival, measuring the prowess and agility necessary for hunting and warfare. Fast forward to the empires of ancient Greece and Rome, where horse racing took on a more organized form. Chariot races in Rome's Circus Maximus weren't just entertainment. They were a vibrant display of power and political prowess, drawing tens of thousands of spectators, roaring as charioteers whipped their horses towards the finish line. The transformation from survival skill to regal sport reached its pinnacle with the ascension of horse racing in medieval England. It was here that the sport earned its moniker, the sport of kings. Nobility bred horses specifically for speed, and the thrill of the race became a symbol of status and prestige. By the 17th century, as the sport burgeoned, the need for standardization became clear. The establishment of formal rules and the creation of racecourses carved the path for the modern era of racing. England's Newmarket, often considered the birthplace of thoroughbred racing, set the stage for the structured, high-stakes competitions we see today. Racecourses multiplied, each becoming a hallowed ground where the spirit of competition and the love for horses drew crowds. These venues were more than just tracks. They were cultural hubs where social class and passion for the sport intermingled freely. From royal pastimes to public spectacles, horse racing flourished, evolving into the modern sport we recognize today. Breeding a champion racehorse is a blend of science, art, and a little bit of luck. Today's racehorses are not just athletes, they are marvels of genetic engineering and technological integration. The journey begins in the gene pool, where the science of genetics plays a pivotal role. Breeders select horses for mating based on desirable traits such as speed, endurance, and temperament. This is not a random process, but a calculated decision aided by genetic mapping and data analytics. Advances in technology have given us tools like DNA sequencing, which allows for a deeper understanding of genetic strengths and vulnerabilities. This enables breeders to enhance desirable traits while reducing the likelihood of genetic disorders. The result? Horses that are faster, stronger, and more resilient than ever before. But it's not all about genetics. The health and training of these equine athletes are monitored with precision. Wearable technology tracks every heartbeat, stride, and even the quality of sleep. High-speed cameras and motion sensors analyze gait patterns and biomechanics, ensuring that each horse can perform at its optimum level without risking injury. Nutritionists also play a crucial role, designing diets that optimize performance, recovery, and overall health. Each meal is tailored to meet the specific needs of individual horses, based on their training regimen and genetic profile. Thus, the modern racehorse is not just a creature of speed, but a pinnacle of careful planning and high-tech support. From the thunderous excitement of the Kentucky Derby to the historic elegance of Royal Ascot, the world of horse racing is marked by events that are not just competitions, but grand celebrations of culture, history, and sport. Let's trot across the globe, starting with the Kentucky Derby. Known as the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, this race is held annually in Louisville, Kentucky. It's the first leg of the American Triple Crown and is famous for its vibrant atmosphere, mint juleps, and the iconic garland of roses awarded to the victor. The Derby isn't just a race, it's a social event where fashion and festivity collide with the thunder of hooves. Crossing the Atlantic, the Royal Ascot in England is a spectacle of tradition and class. Held since the early 18th century and inaugurated by Queen Anne, it's a highlight of the British social calendar. Over 5 days, the Ascot becomes a stage for high fashion, with elaborate hats and elegant attire, all under the watchful eyes of British royalty. The race itself is a test of the world's finest thoroughbreds, making it a pinnacle of horse racing prestige. Now, let's head down under to the Melbourne Cup in Australia, famously dubbed the race that stops a nation. Held on the first Tuesday of November, it's not only a major sporting event, but also a public holiday in Victoria. This race attracts competitors and spectators from around the world, and its festive atmosphere is filled with fashion, excitement, and national pride. Not to forget, the Dubai World Cup, held at the Modern Racehorse, boasts one of the richest purses in the horse racing world. This event is a relatively new addition to the racing calendar, established in 1996, yet it quickly gained status due to its grand scale and the international competition it attracts. Each race has its own story, steeped in tradition and filled with heart-pounding moments. These iconic events showcase the beauty and thrill of horse racing, binding different corners of the world with a shared passion for this exquisite sport. Beyond the track, horse racing has a significant impact on economies and communities. It's not just a sport, it's a complex industry that stimulates local and national economies in profound ways. Consider the sheer number of jobs that horse racing generates. From the breeders who nurture future champions, to the trainers who dedicate countless hours honing the skills of each racehorse, the industry is a significant employment generator. Additionally, think about the roles of jockeys, stable staff, veterinarians, and racetrack personnel, all essential to the day-to-day operations of racing. But the economic influence of horse racing extends beyond the track. Each race day is a bustling hive of activity. Local businesses, from hotels to restaurants, flourish as they cater to spectators and participants who flock to the events. This influx of visitors boosts local tourism significantly, making horse racing a key player in regional economic strategies. Moreover, the cultural impact of horse racing on communities is equally noteworthy. In many places, race days are more than just sporting events. They are deeply ingrained local traditions, accompanied by festivals and community gatherings. These traditions often date back centuries and are a vibrant part of the social fabric, strengthening community ties and pride. The ripple effects of horse racing also reach into the realms of fashion, media, and even art, contributing further to cultural and economic landscapes. Horse racing does more than thrill, it sustains livelihoods and enriches cultures. Yet, the sport of kings is not without its controversies. As we delve deeper into the world of horse racing, it's crucial to address the ethical concerns that shadow this storied sport. At the heart of these concerns lies the welfare of the magnificent animals that make this sport possible. Horses, revered for their speed and power, often face rigorous training schedules and the risk of injuries on the track. The pressure to perform can lead to heartbreaking consequences, including severe injuries or, in worst cases, fatalities. Moreover, the spectre of gambling adds another layer of complexity. Horse racing, intrinsically linked with betting, can lead to significant financial losses and addiction among spectators. The thrill of a flutter on the races, for some, can spiral into a destructive cycle of gambling. However, it's not all a tale of caution. The industry has awakened to these ethical challenges and is taking strides toward reform. Enhanced veterinary care, improved conditions on and off the track, and stricter regulations on medications are just a few of the measures being implemented to safeguard the health and well-being of the racehorses. Additionally, there are increasing efforts to promote responsible gambling practices among fans, ensuring that the sport remains enjoyable without becoming perilous. These reforms are not just about protecting the horses and the integrity of the sport. They're about ensuring that horse racing can continue to thrive and enchant future generations. As with any sport, The future of horse racing depends on balancing tradition with responsibility. What does the future hold for horse racing? As we peer into the crystal ball of horse racing, the future gallops towards us with promises of innovation and expansion. The sport is poised on the cusp of a technological revolution. Imagine racetracks embedded with sensors that provide real-time data on a horse's health and performance, enhancing both strategy and safety. Virtual reality could soon allow fans to experience races as if they are riding the champions themselves, bringing an unprecedented closeness to the thunderous action. Globally, horse racing is expanding its footprint. New markets in Asia and the Middle East are not just embracing the sport, but are elevating it with lavish tracks and grandiose events that draw international attention and competitors. This global expansion is not only about larger audiences, but also about weaving a richer tapestry of cultural exchanges and economic opportunities. Moreover, the increasing focus on ethical practices ensures that the welfare of these magnificent animals is not sidelined. Stricter regulations and more humane treatment of racehorses are becoming the norm, ensuring that the sport remains both noble and respected. As long as there are people to cheer from the stands, horse racing will continue to evolve and excite. From ancient plains to modern tracks, horse racing has run a spectacular course through history. We've journeyed from the chariot races of antiquity to today's high-stakes competitions, exploring how these magnificent animals have shaped and been shaped by human societies. We delved into the evolution of the racehorse, the iconic tracks that host these thrilling events, the cultural impact, and pondered the ethical dimensions that shadow the sport. Looking ahead, the future of horse racing promises to be as dynamic as its past. Thank you for joining us on this gallop through the thrilling world of horse racing. Remember, every race is a story, and the finish line is just the beginning.